Um, pleased with the win. Obviously, give Asheville credit. They were a scrappy basketball team that rebounded us. But proud of the kids. I mean, obviously, this time of the year is always tough for us as a basketball coach. You go into certain scenarios, situations at this time of the year, knowing that you don't have their full undivided attention. These kids have exams coming up. It's going to be a very tough week for them. Has been a tough week for them. And so to come away with a win like that, I thought we played well in spurts, a little bit slow, sluggish at times, but to come away with a win like that, very very pleased. We have a lot to work on, but did a really good job. Had some good performances. I thought Taylor Soul was tremendous tonight. Liz was Liz, did a really good job. Georgia got a double-double. Kayla started to shoot the ball well in the second half, but they never panic. We can score in a lot of different ways, so very proud of the effort, and we'll take a little bit of a rest, and we'll be ready for our next ACC game.
Start with Jimmy on the right.
Yeah, you made a comment after the Nebraska game. I think you were joking, but you're known as a defensive coach, and you wanted to be known as an offensive guy.
The other way around.
Oh, was it the other way around?
Yeah. I'm an offensive guy, and never been defensive at all. Never really even got joy out of defense. And then with this group in particular, they're just so smart. They're so smart, and they're able to take things away. And so we've always been at the top of the league, and points scored, or three-pointers made, or three-pointers attempted, getting up and down in transition. Then obviously when you get a kid, a transitional player like Liz, you're going to slow it down some. You want to be more efficient inside to get her touches. But then as they've gotten older, Liz and Georgia and Kayla, Taylor Guyman, KT now in another year in our system, they're so good defensively, collectively as a group. And I just marvel at what they can do, especially compared to what they did when they were first coming in here. And so now we spend a lot of time talking about defense. We spend time working on defense. We spend time, hey, what do you guys want to do? Let's take away this. Let's take away that. And the way that they just operate, they're so much fun to watch them. And so that's why I'm slowly getting a reputation as a defensive coach. And it's funny too. And that was a joke. But it is funny though. During the pandemic, I did a podcast with five African American male coaches in Division I basketball, and all five we just sat and we chopped it up. We talked about social issues. We just talked about everything, and ironically, all four of them were defensive-minded coaches, and so they would just talk about defense, and they would get fired up, and they were like, defense, and I would just be really quiet, and then we started talking about offense, and then I took the lead. And so now, our team defense is so good, and we still have a group chat going on, and they'll tease me every now and then. Look at you, that podcast rubbed off on you, and so. But it is something that we're pretty good at the defensive end, and that they're starting to take pride in it.
Did you expect to be this good,
Yeah.
fourth in the country in scoring defense?
Yeah, I mean, scoring defense, like I don't even that doesn't equate how good we are defensively, because some teams walk it up. We try to run up and down the floor. Some people have more possessions than others. That's why they're number one. It's just the eyeball test. We know we're a good defensive team. We're not. When you're a bad defensive team, and when you're a good defensive team, and we know we're a good defensive team. And I think I even talked about it extensively at the ACC Media Day, how excited I was about the possibilities of our defense getting better, because we were good defensively last year. We were really good defensively last year, and these kids have gotten a year older, and I think we're even better, this year. So you equate that, you couple that with the fact that, we got some explosive scores and a lot of scores. I think we can be in a lot of basketball games.
Go to Will on the left.
And then on that defensive point, you guys had 8 steals, forced 22 turnovers for UNC Asheville. Do you credit that more to just the preparation throughout these past few days of, just reading up on your opponent, or just like the execution of the girls on the court?
The girls. You look at it, and when you have, like as a coach, you have to learn to evolve, and you have your system and your philosophy and what you really want to, but sometimes you get special players, and you got it, and they can play outside of your system. You look at Taylor Soul, and I look at Taylor Soul, and Taylor Soul to me is like a Micah Parsons. Okay, all right. Everybody knows I'm a Cowboy fan, but like they don't know where to put him because he's so dynamic, and they just let him go. And then he probably doesn't fit exactly their scheme and what they want to do, but he's so dynamic, they got to let him play and just like make instinctive decisions. And that's what we do with Taylor Soul. We tell her to be disciplined, but then we also give her the reins to go ahead and just go and shoot the gap, get a defensive steal. And KT's the same way. She's my Trayvon Diggs. She's out there and she'll take a gamble every now and then. She'll get a steal, but most of the time she's very disciplined. And normally we're at the bottom of the league in steals, and I'm okay with that because of the way we play defense. It's accountability. We guard the paint. But you add those two kids out there, and they're dynamic, so it just adds a dimension that we haven't had in a while, and a dimension I think it really makes us an elite defensive team.
And then Traylor had her third start in a row. On offensively, what makes her so special, just from like a versatility point of view on like her role and also her skill set?
Yeah, she's probably our best downhill driver. She really can get to the hole in a variety of ways. I think the supporting cast we have around her allows that, because when you have Kayla King on the perimeter and you have Georgia Amore on the perimeter, now you have Taylor Soul who's running around, and then you have Liz Kelly inside. Not all the focus is on her, so she's able to run free. And this is her third game that she started in a row, but she's always been a starter for us regardless, because she plays starter minutes, and we view her as a starter. So that was a seamless transition for her to step in and be able to hear her name called to be able to start. But she's playing phenomenal basketball, and I'm very proud of her, and I'm going to keep pushing her because I think she has a bright future.
Good, David Cunningham.
10-0, played some big teams, 3 SEC teams, Nebraska, obviously. Where do you like about where you guys are right now with a big test coming up on Sunday?
Yeah, I love where we are. By no means do I think that we are a finished product. We're going to continue to grow. But we've had a lot of tests, from a physicality standpoint, just different styles of play. We've been tested, through the adversity, with injuries and illnesses, and it's been next person mentality, next person up mentality. And so I think those are all marks. When you can handle those and go through those situations, it makes you a tougher basketball team. And we understand that regardless of what's going on, we always have a chance. So I love it. Defensively, we talked about, I love where we are defensively. We can continue to get better. Offensively, we're getting smoother in some of the things we want to do, and I have a better understanding of some of the newer players like Taylor Soul. We were just getting comfortable with Ashley and where to put her and how to use her, and then she goes out for a little while. But hopefully she'll be able to get back in sooner and transition seamlessly as well. But I love where we are. I like what they're doing. Obviously 10-0, you're happy with it, but sometimes you're 10-0 and you have a lot of questions. We're 10-0, and I think we have a lot of possibilities.
You mentioned Ashley a little bit. I believe you told Mark that you're not sure when exactly she'll be back. How much does that put a lot of stress on some of the other players, or you feel like you guys are in such a rhythm now and everybody kind of knows their roles that it's kind of seamless? Kayana steps up and nothing really changes.
No, I think that the mentality of this group, because they're older players, they're experienced, they've been through a lot, that they can step in and transition to a different role very easily. Look at Deasia Gregg. She played tremendous tonight. She was a little bit slow starter this year, as a lot of people were, but since Ashley's been out, I think she's been playing exceptionally well in extensive minutes. Had double figures tonight. But hitting a three, well, she's a connector for us. She's Draymond Green, man, because she knows where the next play, where the ball should go, what the next play should be, and she's very valuable, from a knowledge standpoint. She's a very high IQ basketball player. So it's giving other people opportunities, and so I just think that we're going to be even better when Ashley is able to come back.
If I could ask about Taylor, what did you see in film of her when she was in the transfer portal, and how does she compare now?
I didn't have to watch film because obviously competing against her, and you see it firsthand. And we just saw her energy, and obviously I didn't know her, but I knew her personality on the court, and then the interactions that I did have with her while she was in the portal, it just convinced me that she was exactly what we needed, not only on the court but off the court. Because our kids are introverts. I won't call them boring, but they're just introverts. And they do what they're supposed to do. And they're low key, and they do what they're supposed to do. Taylor Soul comes in and she livens the place up a little bit. She livens the bus up a little bit.
I wanted to ask about that. I think after the first game, she said she's a self-proclaimed hype woman for your
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think in your previous teams, I haven't really seen anyone who was, that energetic in that way. What does that do to your team to kind of liven it up and give a boost of energy? That's kind of an intangible.
Yeah, we've had some kids like that who are the hype machines, but they usually aren't as good as Taylor Soul. They usually, that's their role, be the hype person. She's got a dual role, be a great player and be the hype person. But you can just feel the electricity in the arena when she gets a steal, or she does something, and you can hear the crowd go, "Ooh!" I think like the alley-oop they threw to her, and she dropped it off to Kayana Traylor, and it was a layup, or she gets a steal, and it's a collective sigh because you don't know what she's going to do. We don't know what she's going to do. Sometimes she has a body language like she's going to try to go up there and dunk it, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then she gets the crowd going, and then her plays really are energetic, and they can really get us going as well.
Last one for me. You don't play for a week. The players have to focus on finals, and I was asking Liz about preparing for next week, and they're planning to look at a lot of film. I'm wondering from a coaching perspective, because you've been through this before, is there ever a risk about maybe over preparing for an opponent at all, or
No.
how do you go into it?
You know what? We're going to well tonight. If you want to know my schedule, I'm going to watch some Hallmark movies, or I'm just going to watch some TV tonight, and then tomorrow we'll get at it. But from a coaching standpoint, we've got recruiting that we're handling. We got some other things that got going on. We'll have a couple of days off totally from basketball, which is good, so they can get a good jump on studying for their exams and whatnot. We'll probably shoot on Wednesday, and then Thursday start getting ready for Notre Dame. So we won't get ready for Notre Dame physically or as a group until probably starting Thursday. But I'm sure this particular group, they're so locked in. They're basketball junkies, and they all have iPads with access to every Notre Dame game right now. So they'll be watching them. Probably within, some of them will finish exams sooner than the others. But the more you can be familiar with your opponents and their tendencies, I don't think there's too much time that you can have.
Well,
Like we said, no Ashley Wosu for the third straight game, but offensively you guys haven't really seemed to skip a beat with all just the depth that you guys have. So what does it say, not only about the depth, but just the number of high-powered weapons you guys have on offense?
Well, I think what it says too is that they're a selfless group. They because all of them are capable of being a star in the team. And Taylor Soul was a star for Boston College. Kayana Traylor was a star for Purdue. Georgia, has her moments. She's only triple-double in program history. Liz Kitley is ACC Player of the Year. Kayla King, has the most points or the most threes in a game. They all are special in their own way, and but they are all willing to sacrifice, a particular possession for the betterment of the team. And when you can get that, in the way that they are, it's really a great feeling for a coach, because we don't have to. We love for Liz to get 20, 25 every night, but she doesn't have to. Case in point, she scores 6 against Tennessee at Tennessee, and we still win. And then she's one of the happiest people on the bus. And they're all like that. Kayla King didn't score a point in the first half, and she ends up, I think, with 12 in the second half. So they all have the capabilities. They know it, and they know that they're going to be rewarded by team wins and whatnot. So for me, it's been a joy to coach, because I don't have to try to, make sure a particular person's happy. And as long as we win, they're all good.
yeah, go ahead.
Kenny, I know you had to bring in all these players, but do you ever have to pinch yourself at the collection of talent that you just discussed? I mean, I'm sure there were days
Yeah.
in your past where you would love to have one
Oh,
player
yeah.
like this.
Oh yeah, you know what? You do. You step back and you and you. In my old age, I've learned to stop and smell the roses. Because honestly, when I was at James Madison, and people would say, "Hey, that team you had in 2012, they were great," and I'm like, I don't even know what team you're talking about, because you're so worried about the next thing that you forget. You forget how special it was to coach a Tamara Young, a Jasmine Gwathmey, all those players. And now that I do have this group, when the group I inherited here, they worked hard, but they weren't this good. And I always said, if you want to make some chicken salad, you got to have some chicken. And, and if you want to be good in the ACC, you better have some chicken. And we went out and we recruited kids, and those kids have been good, and you have some success, and it helps recruit kids. So we want to keep the momentum, but I am very fortunate. I'm very blessed, and I know it. And so when I'm out there with them, I make sure that so instead of pinching myself, I just make sure I'm aware, that this is a special group, special collection of kids, and I'm looking forward, just to every accomplishment that they have. And I think even the brighter thing is that, we're going to lose some of them this year, but our recruiting class was ranked top 20 in the country, and I'm excited about those kids coming in to continue, what's going on here.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.